Hello, my lovely, luscious Leos. Welcome, welcome. It is Sachi the Scorpio, and I am here to deliver your guided healing tarot for the month of May. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. And thank you so much for all of your support on this channel, Leo. It is very much appreciated. And just a friendly reminder that the top 3 videos that get the most likes get a bonus twin flame reading the next month. But let's hop into it, Leo. We had Mars come out during the cleansing ceremony in reverse force. So this is telling me that you are learning to not force anything. You have learned to surrender to the divine, and you're not trying to push your will on anybody else. There is also, I heard that you learned this during Mars retrograde, which was last September, I believe, or when the retrograde ended, but it was sometime in 2020 when that happened. Or it might have been in March. I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, it feels like you are understanding, what should no longer be forced. We had the 10th house, the world, in reverse, and I'm feeling that you understand that you cannot force the world to behave. You can't force the world to not be topsy-turvy either right now. The 10th house particularly relates to patriarchal forces, social structures, wealth accumulation, the relationship with our father or father figure, or the divine masculine in general, or the more distant caregiver. So, and also like career and work ethic and public life. So it feels like you're understanding that you can't really force that energy. You just can't. We had Capricorn come out in reverse IUs. So the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn rules the 10th house. So it's telling me that you're not utilizing, like, there's one thing about not forcing, these 10th house energies. And again, it's like the divine masculine energies. There's another thing to not use them all together. So it feels like you don't want to be utilitarian at all. And then we had 11th house friends. So I'm getting that you have understood, like, you don't want to be used by your friends, right? You're realizing that that's not a real friendship. You're understanding that, friends are not utilities, but there are certain aspects of this world that you can use that seems like you're not taking action towards. So rather than the 10th house, it looks like you're kind of shunning the 10th house energy and you're focused more on the 11th house, which says friends, but it's more about your network. It's more about all the people that you know. It's any sort of community or group-based relationship. Any group that is 3 or more, that is the 11th house. The 11th house also rules humanitarianism, revolution, science, technology, surprises. I'm not sure if you can see. Okay. And non-human species, right? There's this little like fly, little gnat that just landed here. And non-human species is also the 11th house. So, insects, animals, angels, aliens, right? Whatever it is, all rule the 11th house. So yeah, for some of you, it could be non-human species, plants, animals, stuff like that. But yeah, the 11th house, I feel like you're focused more on that than the 10th house, which relates more to the physical world. We had the 8 of Wands coming out. So the 8 of Wands is telling me that you want to get into some sort of repeating cycle where either with your lust or your passion or your intensity, or your kundalini, right? Wands is your kundalini energy, the magic that you use even, your creative potential that you raise in order to manifest the world around you. And it looks like you want to get in some sort of repeating pattern. Here she is, setting out her wands, and she's going to, use these flowers in order to make something, right? It's some sort of repetitive energy. I'm getting that some of you want to focus on your craft or actually making a craft or, learn to make something. And we have the Queen of Pentacles, and you want to do this in order to make money. But again, it feels like you're not utilizing what you can use in the 10th house, which is, again, it can be career-based. It can be, in order to accumulate wealth and things. It's like, oh, I don't want to force, anything in the world to come to me. You know what I mean? But there's a difference between forcing and using. you know, there are certain social structures and, you know, this Capricornian forces that you want to use in order to be the Queen of Pentacles, which is the highest form of divine feminine when it comes to material needs. So it looks like you want stacks on stacks, Leo. Like, you want to have enough money to, you know, maybe retire early, to live a long, healthy life, to make sure that you're set for life, you know, and that your family tree is too. So this is very much being money-minded, but it looks like you're, again, kind of afraid to use what you have, especially because you might feel like you're using your friends or something like that, okay? And then we have the witch in reverse. So what I'm hearing is you want to be able to do this without using witchcraft, okay? And, you know, maybe without using magic. Either that or you're not utilizing your magic the way that you can, right? Again, there's nothing wrong. It's not forcing something to ask something to come in. You know what I mean? There's a difference between not forcing something and then also failing to take action to manifest what you truly desire. But I did hear for a lot of you, you just don't want to use witchcraft in order to do what you want to do here in order to get money. And it's because the witchcraft has left you kind of out in the cold, has left, you know, a lot of conversations where you feel sad and alone. You know, this is bat spirit where, you know, you're in the shadows by yourself and you know, like are psychically communicating to yourself or with someone that is making you feel in pain and sadness and alone. And that's what it seems like the witchcraft had brought you, because we had the Five of Wands come out, which, you know, traditionally indicates some sort of chaotic situation or, you know, like a battle of, you know, power or things like that, power struggle, chaos. But the Five of Wands in this tradition, like, is about cursing. And I felt when this came out that, you know, how you used your magic in the past and maybe misdirected witchcraft even, you know, brought you sadness and pain and loneliness and actually brought a curse upon the situation. And then we had Shen Ninja come out using cursed rain. So I was like, oh my God, yeah, there was definitely some cursed energy here. It cursed the heart chakra. Well, it cursed the rain, which is the water. And it has to do with, you know, the sadness and things that were involved with this heart chakra here. It did bring cursed water, the way that you were, you know, utilizing this. Or it's possible that someone else had put a curse on you, right? Using witchcraft or whatever it may be. And again, that is not what a friend would do, right? It says, a most peculiar Pokemon that somehow appears in a Pokeball when Nincada evolves. Okay, usually I don't read these during the cleansing ceremony, but apparently I am feeling called to do that. And so the thing is like, the only way to evolve is by being enclosed in that Pokeball. So it was telling me that no matter who you got caught by in this situation, you know, it did help your evolution. And this is also bringing the angels in already. They want you to help shed your skin. Shed Ninja is, you know, I want to say carapace, but that's not the word, but the shell that the cicada comes out of, right? Like the husk of the skin behind. And, you know, Spirit's really saying now is time for you to shed that old skin and bring in some angelic energy from this. And you don't need witchcraft to contact the angels, right? And who got this? Taurus got this as well. So if you have Taurus placements, definitely check that out. But yeah, so definitely the angels want to come in and help with that. Then we had Volcarona using Shimmering Scales and Gumi using Stampede. So, you know, Volcarona is a fire moth, and this is telling me again there has been some transformation in the shadow energy. Moth spirit is about the shadow. And with the Shimmering Scales, I take that as the Libra scale. So I do feel that you've been trying to balance your root chakra, which is your sense of safety, your Kundalini energy, your force, right? Your sexual force, that's creative force, and your heart chakra, which has been, you know, given some sort of cursed rain here, okay? And you've gotten a stampede of them, right? This is a fairy type move, which indicates soulmate relationships, but it's a dragon type card, which is twin flame. So the way that you've been trying to balance this out when it comes to your twin flame journey, and I don't mean this to be a twin flame reading, but when a dragon type comes out, I have to say it, you know, it's caused a stampede of soulmate relationships that seem shimmery on the outside, you know, having one-on-one relationships, but really all it's done is bring cursed rain to your heart chakra. To now the angels want to come and help you shed that skin so that that is no longer the situation. Okay. So Leo, that is what came out in the cleansing ceremony. It is Taurus season. Happy Taurus season. What we are going to do is take a look at where you are now, and then we're going to take a look at what is your long-term goal. Okay, and then in the extended, we're going to see the path in order to get you from where you are now to your long-term goal. We'll see what comes out. You know, Taurus season's all about, you know, going at your own pace. And because if you go at your own pace, then you know you will ultimately reach your destination and your long-term goal, right? Taurus is fixed earth, all about long-term commitments and long-term thinking. So we'll see how to get there. All right, let's see. Where's Leo right now? I do want to say my tarot books are closed until Gemini season, but I am doing astrology natal charts and stuff. If you are interested in that, please feel free to email me. All that info is in the description box below. We have 4th house roots and Chiron healing. So you are healing your emotional roots. You're on your healing journey right now, which is awesome, right? So Chiron in our chart is the wound that does not heal. Chiron in our solar system is known as the wounded healer. It is, you know, it's your deepest wound. That's your healing journey, right? And your healing journey never ends. That's why it's a wound that does not heal. The more that you go towards your Chiron, the more healed and healed you become. And so there's a certain sense of peace, right? With knowing that there's no real ultimate destination to this certain wound that we have. You know, everyone has a different one. So check your natal chart to see where your Chiron wound is. And so it looks like you're going towards your Chiron journey. For some of you, it can be in the 4th house or in Cancer. And so, yeah, you're healing from the root up. And again, we saw that root chakra energy in the cleansing ceremony, and it feels like that's what you're healing, your emotional roots. So, you know, your sense of safety and, you know, your sense of home inside of yourself. You know, the 4th house is ruled by Cancer, by the divine feminine, by the divine mother. So, you know, relationship with the mother figure or more emotionally close parent, the relationship with the divine feminine energies, the relationship with you know, our ancestral karma and ancestral trauma even is the 4th house. You know, the emotional roots is twofold. One is, how are we emotionally programmed to behave? You know, when we experience a certain emotion like sadness, how are we allowed to emotionally express? How did our caregivers tell us that it was okay to be sad, to be angry, to be happy even, right? How do we show our emotions? And so that, like, emotional programming, right, to no fault of our own, just inherently becomes the way that we behave, how we are emotionally triggered by certain things and how we respond until we start consciously reprogramming, right? So, you know, the 4th house when it comes to emotional roots is that, right, our own emotional roots. And then we can superimpose that on also when we get into a new relationship, how do we emotionally root with somebody new? So it looks like you are really healing, you know, one, your like family issues is what I'm hearing, and 2, how you build an emotional foundation within a new relationship. Let's see. Okay, we have the battle wagon and Ace of Chalices and the Star in reverse. So it feels like you're understanding that all of this fighting, the feeling of needing to go to battle against anyone, and again, it may be a wound, like perhaps the way you grew up, like everything was constantly a fight. You had to fight for attention. You had to fight for validation. You had to fight for whatever. I mean, as you can hear, there's a lot of noise outside. So maybe there was a lot of yelling and screaming, right? The battle wagon goes to battle, right? It's war. And I feel like you're understanding that that battle wagon and constantly fighting and constantly, you know, warring is not love with the Ace of Cups in reverse. And with the Star in reverse, you're understanding that this is not aligned. Like, that's not what love is. Love is not a constant fight. And it feels like you're understanding that and really trying to heal the deep emotional root of how you were emotionally programmed to think that fighting was love. I feel like there's another one here. There it is. Kind of coming out stuck in reverse, we have the King of Thames. So I feel like a lot of this could have to do with, the divine masculine energy when it comes to communication. So, communicating who you are, how people communicate who they are. There could be a masculine presence that taught this, where it's kind of like, you're only allowed to communicate this, right? Like very controlling, like, if you communicate, it's going to be a fight and I'm going to win. The King of Thames is like the King of Swords, right? Very cutting, very emotionally detached, very, matter of fact, and all about, what can be documented and validated, if that makes sense. So it does look like, some of you may be stuck in a situation of, that kind of divine masculine energy. You could also be dealing with an Aquarius or Gemini or Libra. But again, it's just masculine energy having to do with communication in general. But, I am getting with Star in reverse and the King of Thames. There could be some not great Aquarian energy. And again, we saw the 11th house, which is ruled by Aquarius. So it could be more than one person. All right, let's see. What's the light energy here? We have bravery using wing attack. Yeah. So you were taught that it's like brave to go into battle and, attack people communication wise. Okay. So that's, plain and simple. It's like, your emotional rooting. And again, this like little gnat is like keeps flying around. And I feel like it's kind of like there's always kind of this like buzz around you that's like preparing for battle sort of thing. Again, bravery, it's like you were taught it's brave to go to battle and to fight for love, but like love is not fighting, right? You're understanding that it's not aligned. That's not love when you're constantly on your battle wagon or having to attack people with your words or being attacked with your words, right? And that may have been very, very common in your upbringing. It says they fight for friends without any thought about danger to themselves. One can carry a car while flying. Yeah, so you may feel like you have to go to battle for your friends even, and maybe you learned like no matter what, you have to fight for your family or whatever it may be, or, fight with your friends or fight for your friends or whatever it may be, right? We see that you are really sticking your neck out for other people. And, we saw the friends card come up, so I do feel like this may be a friendship rather than romantic. Okay. Please go away. Go away. Yeah, that gnat like went right on my mouth and it's so gross, guys. But like, I do feel like, how do I put this? A very annoying energy that has to do with communication. Okay. It's like, it just is very, very annoying. One can carry a car while flying. So there can be something about maybe driving to see someone or flying to see someone or someone who needs help for their car, right? Battle wagons like the Chariot. We have Magnemite, Lightning Ball in reverse. So it feels like, or not Lightning Ball in reverse, Lightning Ball, but it feels a little bit reverse. It feels like it's kind of draining your solar plexus, draining your sense of self. So the way that you define yourself, is it by fighting for your friends? Like, that's who I am. I just fight for my friends. I stick up for them. Why? Did you have to stick up for someone else? Maybe a sibling that you had to stick up for, or a parent that you had to stick up for, likely a mother against a father sort of thing. Like, there's a lot. It's draining your solar plexus. It's draining your willpower, and it feels like you're kind of, shrinking yourself to just defend your friends in some way, right? Magnemite is all about the polarity of the positive and negative aspect of things, right? It's a magnet. So, I am feeling that you are understanding like the feminine and masculine energies. You are utilizing them, but it's still draining your energy right now. It says it moves while constantly hovering. It discharges thunder wave and so on from the units on its side. Yeah, so it moves constantly while hovering. That's how I was feeling about that gnat, which has gone away, thankfully. But, like, it's just, there's, like, something always there. And I feel like it's kind of like the chaos with your friends, or, like, your friends' problems or whatever. And, again, I'm not sure if your friends use you as, like, a defense, or use you for your car, or, like, money to travel or something. I don't know, Leo. But, you know, it talks about discharging thunder wave from the units from its side. So thunder wave is something that paralyzes. So it feels like you may want to stop people from leaving in some sort of way. You might try to fight with them so that they don't leave. Okay. Well, let's see what your long-term goal is. There's something constantly hovering around you, and it just kind of feels like a draining, like not, okay, Aquarius, I know. I feel like this is you, like, yeah, I know, it's there. So yeah, there's this energy just like constantly around you. But again, Aquarius, remember how I was feeling Aquarius energy? I'm also getting that like you want to understand more of this healing journey about your roots as well. The Aquarius is also the 11th house, but I feel like this is more about that energy. It's like, you're like, yeah, I know that that energy is kind of like constantly around me. Let's see. We have Grand Cross Provoker. So Grand Cross is, you know, you can find in your natal chart. So some of you might have a Grand Cross, and some of that might be part of an Aquarius placement that you have. So you are meant to be a provoker. You know, it looks like you have this energy of like, okay, you know, I want to defend my friends no matter what. Like, I'm brave. I'm willing to go to battle for them. And you are meant to be a provoker, and you do know things. And part of that has to do with those Aquarian themes of humanitarianism, of revolution, of, you know, science and technology and non-human species, as well as community and group relationships, right? Aquarius is any group of 3 or more. It also rules class consciousness and groupthink and things of that nature. So it does look like you are meant to be a provoker in some sort of way, right? You have this battle energy and all of this bravery. And you are meant to do things. We have Mercury retrograde, reinvention, lunar eclipse change, and sun in spirit. Yeah, the only thing is that you have to re-envision and change how you are doing this with your spirit. Because Mercury retrograde is coming up, right, in the sign of Gemini, just a couple weeks away. Mercury entered Gemini yesterday on the 4th or the 3rd, I guess, depending on where you are. And so, yeah, and then we'll have Mercury retrograde. The shadow period starts on the 15th of May. So after that, I think it's the 27th or 28th, Mercury will be retrograding. And it's going to be an interesting time, right? Because Mercury's ruling planet or ruling sign is Gemini. So it's going to be retrograding in its home constellation. And so, you know, Gemini is about the mind, is about communication, and you are being asked to reinvent the way that you are communicating, how you know that you're supposed to be a provoker. Okay, you know this. You know you have this higher calling. Some of you may be star seeds, I'm hearing, and that's how you relate to the non-human species as well. Right, Aquarius is your sister sign too. So you are meant to be a provoker in this lifetime through Aquarian themes, but you have to reinvent the way that you are communicating this. You are meant to change, right? Lunar eclipse. We have a lunar eclipse during Mercury retrograde in Gemini, okay? So, you know, big changes coming up, you know, within the next month for you, and I feel like there's some pretty big shifts. And that's the time that you want to start thinking about it. But it's the long-term energy is reinventing and changing things that have to do with your spirit, right? And the sun, this is your ruler. This is the core of who you are. So yes, you are meant to provoke, but how are you meant to shine? How is your spirit meant to shine? Especially on a large scale, right? To communities. You have this, you know, job, I guess, to be a provoker, but not the way that it is. And it feels like you're understanding, like, this is not bringing me love. This does not feel aligned. You know, you have all this battle energy, and it's good to be brave and to stick up for your friends and, you know, what you truly believe. But there's some reinvention that really needs to take place here. We have the 5 of Chalices in reverse. Yeah, you need to let go of sadness, depression, all of the negative emotions is what really needs to be let go, right? 5 of Chalices usually indicates when there's poison in your cup, when, you know, the water has been spoiled and you need to get rid of it. You know, it could be from impulsive decisions with rabbit spirit here. It could be some, you know what rabbits do, right? You know, again, there could be poison here. We have poison berries there. Like, you want to get rid of all the poison that is in your emotional body, all the poison that has been put in your cup. We have the crone in reverse. Yeah, because, I mean, this is strength, right? This is you in reverse, because if you keep holding on to this poison, you will not age the way that you want to. You won't have that true Leo, you know, wisdom and being able, you know, having the strength to be who you want to be when you reach cronehood. Okay? I'm hearing that there's a lot of cycles that you need to break here with 8 in reverse. Like, you know, you need to get more in touch with your core and more in touch with spirit and reinvent the way that you are communicating your strength here. Because true strength is not being poisoned all the time. That's not real strength. We have the 5 of Athame. There's a lot of details here is what I'm hearing. You know, like 5 of Athame can traditionally be, you know, people who are arguing over something or some sort of conflict in conversation. But this has to do with what you're selling. So again, it's like, what message are you going to try to send? Do you want to age as, you know, the wise crone who is very strong, who, you know, has the answer to this and that and the other? You know what I mean? Like, this is a very long-term goal about who you want to be. And we have peacock spirit here, which again is like showcasing, you know, the energy like only a Leo can with that Leo flair, right? You want to be able to show off in a way, but not this, it's not necessarily negative. It's just how you're selling it, right? The only difference between these Athames, between these swords are, you know, the details. It's very much a devil's in the detail sort of thing, but you want to be able to do some sort of craft that is very unique. And, you know, the reinvention is within the marketing is what I'm hearing. But you can't get to that level until this spiritual energy has changed. Okay, hold on. I'm feeling that there's one more here. Tell us more about this long-term goal. I'm hearing it's about your legacy. We have the 6 of Wands. So this has to do with, you know, victory, with triumph. You want to be victorious. You want people to celebrate you. And the World Tree in reverse, you know, yeah, beyond, you want to be immortal through what you are creating, through what you are bringing to the world here. I mean, shoo. Yeah, with the World Tree, you want to escape an ending of that cycle, you know? And again, it's like living immortally through spirit, but you want to do it through some sort of craft that is uniquely you. And you want to be able to showcase that. But right now, it's all, you have to reinvent the way it's being communicated. And again, this is like for your soul tribe. That's what it feels like. Let's see, what's the light energy? We have exciting shake. So yeah, I feel like you're, you know, you want to be doing something that you're excited about. You want something that gets your heart pumping, that you're passionate about. You know, Leos more than anyone, you want that, you know, rush of like, yes, this is me. This is what I want to do. So I'm getting that you really want to have this. And, you know, okay, I'm going to leave that out. Let's see. It says it uses an up-tempo song. Okay, I'm going to tell you. You don't want this to give you a heart attack either, right? Like, so much drama can do that, right? That's why you want to make sure that you cleanse your energy and the connections that you have, you know, your friends are actually uplifting and celebrating you and things like that. You don't want it to be bringing you pain, poisoning your cups, or causing constant conflict, right? It says it uses an up-tempo song and dance to drive away bird Pokemon that prey on its flower seeds. Yeah, so you want this to be up-tempo and exciting, right? You want this to be good. You want people to dance to what you have to offer, not attack what you have to offer. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's brave to stick up for people and get attacked, but you're not meant to shield everybody else, right? There's a different way of celebrating people and showing your, you know, soul family or soul tribe, you know, how amazing they are, and having your own legacy with that without, you know, needing the negative, you know, keeping things upbeat. Let's see, what's the shadow here? Gallade using Pandemonium Blade. Yeah, you can still fight Pandemonium, right? You can still fight Pandemonium and be excited about things. You don't have to be in chaos to be excited. And maybe that's how you were emotionally programmed, is that like chaos equals love, or chaos equals connection, right? Like if we argue, that means we love each other. No, actually that means you are incompatible and don't get along. You know, again, not everything is meant to be a battle. And this talks about shaking off bird spirit, right? To get bird Pokemon away. And we have bird spirit here and bird spirit here. It's just like something constantly flying around, you know, telling you to fight, trying to get you to run your mouth. And, you know, you can fight that Pandemonium. You don't have to constantly have that blade, you know, that's bringing chaos here. It says, when trying to protect someone, it extends its elbows as if they were swords and fights savagely. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you can't ever protect anyone. You know what I mean? There's a time and a place when there's an actual threat, when you do need to protect someone from chaos. But number one, you're not meant to protect every single person from chaos. That's not your job. You know, your job is to be upbeat and get excited and up-tempo about things. And then what is actually worth protecting will find you. You know what I mean? And it's not saying like, oh, okay, you know, no swords allowed type thing. No, of course, everyone should have a sword, you know? Everyone should have a sword, a pentacle, a cup, and, you know, a wand. You know, being balanced with the 4 elements. But, you know, you can still protect someone and not be calling all this chaos in. Okay? And that's the long-term goal, is to be celebrated for who you are beyond your physical life, you know, so that your grandchildren or your great-great-grandchildren, you know, are talking about how amazing you were, you know, and how you were protective of the family and, you know, did things the way that are good, you know? I mean, it's an amazing long-term goal. You want to be praised even, you know, as an ancestor after you physically pass. And that's a great long-term goal. But you just have to get off the battle wagon and understand not everything's meant to be a fight. Oh, I almost started talking about how we get there. All right, so like I said, in the extended, we will see how we get you here. Let's see what wants to bring us into the extended. We have a fiery climax approaches, the full moon in Aries. So it does seem like there is some sort of big bang that's coming out. Oh, excuse me. And for some of you, this could have to do with some sort of romantic relationship with the full moon in Aries. I'm hearing some of you might be doing SEX magic. But there is a climax that is going to approach to this situation. Your commitment is being tested, first quarter moon. So you are being tested in some sort of way by this energy here. Your commitment to yourself is being tested, to your actual soul tribe, you know? Are you going to We have nurture. Archangel Gabriel. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So for some of you, you have a child that you need to nurture and your commitment with them is being tested. For some of you, it's nurturing your own inner child. And I was really getting that with the 4th house here, right? Again, how were you emotionally programmed to behave? Why do you feel the need to attack people? Why do you feel the need to battle? When do you go to battle? Why? What triggers you? Things like that. And you are really being asked to do some inner child healing. I'm going to pull from my inner child deck. This is my first deck ever, Leo, by the way. I started using it when I was 6 years old. So, all right, let's see what inner child healing card would like to take us into the extended. We have the flower, and I'm feeling that this time in reverse, yeah. So the flower, right? This is all about you blooming. You are meant to bloom, and you are a beautiful flower. So what ingredients do you need for you to fully bloom, right? If you are on a battle wagon, you're not tending to a flower and allowing it to bloom, right? You know, fear and anger and hate usually fuel battles. at least that's kind of how it feels here, because we see it's not aligned and it's not full of love. So, you know, treat yourself like a flower and allow yourself to bloom. For some of you, I'm hearing aromatherapy would be very wise. And we have time in reverse. So, you know, for some of you, there's some sort of time energy. So maybe some of you feel like you don't have time to have children, or you don't have time for, you know, your inner child healing or whatever it may be, but you do. You have enough time, and everyone blooms in their own time. It's never too late to become who you want to be. Okay? And again, Taurus teaches us that everyone, you know, your own pace is the way that you want to go. So, you know, you do have time. You do have time. Okay? So, Leo, like I said in the extended, we're going to see how do we get you here. Okay? And so if you'd like to join me there, the link is in the description box below. If we part ways here, good luck with the situation. I am sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye.